Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So for today, I was starting to get like different decks kind of organized for the week for the reads, and I realized I had forgotten this one from last week. And to be honest, I don't know if I actually used them. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. So if I already used these ones, I guess we'll get round 2. But I really feel like it's the first time. And that's what I feel like. I feel like time is going so fast. Everything's starting to blend. It's just like go with the flow. Stop trying to control things. And let's hop into this Let's hop into this happy story. A hap is a hop and a happy. All right, we got Gaia Oracle. And then we got the Starseed Tarot. The Syrian Starseed Tarot. So, I don't think I used them. Let's see what these cards are so huge. You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing Earth, Wind, Fire right now. Da-da-da. Do you remember the 21st of September? What is the day today? I don't know what day it is. Is it the 21st today? Because oh no, it's not. It's the 23rd. So 21st isn't a reference, but maybe it is. Hey, you want to know which one fell out? Master of Orbs. So that is giving me King of Swords energy. All right. 2 and 3. All right. So the energy that's up in the air. Okay. I feel like somebody kind of went within and they really learned their trigger. Because here we have the Master of Orbs. It's giving me King of Swords energy. So King of Swords balanced is all about truth and justice and not being so emotional and pulling things in. And then in the next cards we have is Indigo Child in reverse with the 7 of Orbs in reverse. Then the last one, also in reverse, is the 10 of Flames. So I'm seeing, okay, obviously the 10 of Flames is 10 of Rods. That's like a burden, something that is so heavy, and it's like, you know what? I'm not going to feed into it this time. I know in the past that it really triggers me because here we have the Indigo. The Indigo in this reading is representing the inner child. And so the inner child in this reading, there's something that's like a fantasy. Something that's like this dream or this wish, this option. And it didn't happen the way that they want. Right here I see them reaching out to it. It's like, I really, really want that one. But there's this distance or something. And so, distance from childhood. So I see in the past that this used to really, really bug them. Them almost seeing like the child be like, but I want it, you know? And yeah, having a little bit of difficult energy. So let's shake up the Gaia Tarot and see what else wants to kind of help us with this story. Now I'm hearing do 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 do. I said, hey man, take a walk on the wild side. Who is that? Lou Reed. Okay, we got 5 cards. So let's see what story's coming out. All right. Come on. All right. So to start off, we've got reflection in reverse. This reflection is coming out right by this Indigo Child. there was a little bit of a pause of reflection, something to do. Hey, I think that's cool. Look, here is the Seven of Orbs, and it's like, I really want that one. But it seems to be like drifting farther and farther away. It's like the more and more that this person like tries to force it to happen, it seems like it just keeps going and going and going. And so that really crushes this inner child. So here we have reflection in reverse. And when I see the reflection, it's the moon. It's illusion, self-examination, and distortion. But that little orb kind of looks like this orb. So as it said, there's an illusion or a distortion, something to do when it comes to the inner child. And that inner child, right, back to the orbs, has to do with the king of pentacles, the king of orbs. So I'm hearing he's changed. The color blue is of significance. Well, obviously, I guess, with indigo. But what I saw here is like, look at his face. He's like super stern, and like it said, he's very balanced in truth. He doesn't really let emotions dictate things. But when I look at this kid, he's holding the gem. So over here, he's holding a sword. But as the inner child, it's like holding this gem. And it's like so excited about the shininess or the opportunity that this gem brings. And then I was drawn into his eyes, and his eyes were blue. And then it went over here, and now he's wearing blue. So something to do with the color blue. And then again, indigo. So that makes sense. So what about, okay, so as this deck is the Syrian starseed. And so a lot of our souls, right, especially as a young kid, children have been a soul longer than they've been a human body. So they're connected more to this etheric, magical realm. And so to them, to tap into spirit and manifesting and all these things and the guides and like angels and things like that, it's so easy for them because, as I said, they've been a soul. They've resonated at this lighter, higher frequency. But I felt like saying liar. And so that's what I'm seeing here. There's like this couple, so maybe this is like their parents. And it's like they promised them something, but they couldn't make it happen. I feel like the inner child is very connected to these. Like they're like, what do you mean? You can just easily go think about it, think a happy thought, hold that frequency, and bring it into reality. And in this one, I'm seeing like, maybe this is something that needs to be bought, right? We've got the gem. So this is something that needs like physical money or something. So you need to rely on the parents. And the parents were like, we'll make it happen, right? But it never happened because coming with it is that distortion. But it's in reverse. So let me just quickly take accountability of this distortion. There is no distortion. The only thing that has been a little bit distorted is this inner child, this indigo child, especially indigo children. It's like, how would I explain an indigo child? They're the little rebels. They're the ones who can see things that others can't see. They show up at school, maybe they might have like ADHD or ADD, you know, they might be like labeled with all these things. They tend to be more of like an outcast. Hello, Cooper. An outcast, dreamy energy. And so they're just different. Whereas I see here, like most people kind of focusing on the 3D things, this one can manifest. It's like their mental, right? Because indigo, third eye, their mental capacity is just so much more, so much quicker, so much advanced. That's what we'll say than the average person. I'm not saying like not everyone's special, but this one, that's why he's standing in this King of Swords energy, which is all about air and intellect and things like that. Is like this indigo child always has a higher vibration when it comes to thoughts. And so others may not resonate. There's always this gap or divide. And that gap and divide they're bringing is like just an illusion. right? Because we've got that reflection. The thing here, right, because the final outcome of the Syrian cards was the 10 of Wands, which is heavy and burdensome, and it's like you just don't want to do it anymore. Like you pack up your things and you leave. But it was in reverse. And it's in reverse because everyone tells you, oh, you can't bring this here. That's a pie in the sky type thing. But look at this. It's bringing it into the depths. And so this child, even though they have a higher mind capacity, almost intelligence, intellect, something to do with that, but they're also very emotionally intelligent. And so here's the water and the reflection. It's like I can reach for this happy high thought, and I can go within my emotions and bring it to the surface. It's almost like, what are they showing? As above, so below. I'm seeing something outside of yourself so high that you can elevate to that. It's almost grabbing that, internalizing it, and then bringing it through your heart. So let's continue. So the energy that you're doing that you're asked kind of not to do, we had the 9 of Hearts in reverse. The 9 of Hearts is like 9 of Cups. It is fulfillment, harmony, and protection. So they're showing me as this indigo child having their heart kind of hurt, that this indigo child is special. And you know you're special. You know that you have a talent, or I'm just hearing that your brain has like this processing system that most others don't think and work like you do. That the way you think and feel is so special. And so that's what this is saying. It's like in reverse. I'm seeing because you think and feel differently than others, that maybe others are lower here. And they're like, no, like this one's reaching out. They're like, come back down. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You're going to get hurt. You're going to something. And then so maybe that might make the indigo child, who Syrian starseed, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like, it's like this soul of whoever this message is for is from the stars. They do come with quirks and uniqueness, and it's like this quirks and uniqueness is so different than what we're used to here, that they're meant to come here and teach us this, right? Fulfillment, harmony, and protection. This indigo child is like, you also have this ability to think higher and use your emotional intelligence. But a lot of the times, especially as a child, we'll be like, you don't really know what you're talking about. You don't know what's best. And we kind of shut them down from their imagination. And it's their imagination that is their greatest gift. There's like imagination and intuitiveness and beliefs and emotions that all kind of come within this. And so indigo children, they're different. They have a harder time because they go to places like school, and they are the ones that just don't fit in. They might be, I'm seeing a class clown. They might choose the role of the class clown because humor kind of, it's almost like they're doing their thing. They're doing exactly what emotionally and spiritually they know they're supposed to do. But everyone's like, what are you doing up there? And it's like getting all this unwanted attention. So they're like, oh, I'm seeing this as I'm stealing the moon, because there's the moon. And everyone just like laughing, like making jokes about it or something. But in the long run, the more and more you keep getting told that you don't have this gift, this special, unique talent, the more and more it's like a struggle within, that the indigo child needs to go within and kind of take inventory of like what is real. Because I feel like this magicalness, but everyone keeps telling me that this stuff isn't real, this isn't possible, that I'm not as special as I feel. And so a lot of indigo children, they tend to escape or try to hide themselves or not get that attention, because it's almost like I feel like everything that they do is being scrutinized. And the more and more they keep like going to do what they want, they get scrutinized. They're like, well, I just don't want that attention anymore. And so that's why this heart is in reverse. They don't want that fulfillment and that harmony, because it's like every time I do, everyone's telling me that I'm wrong, that I don't know what I'm talking about. And there's a journey. A lot of indigos deal with things like depression and, you know, those kind of things. And they always have to kind of go back within and find that soul healing journey, right? They gotta nurture that indigo child, that inner child, and bring that forward. Because they have this, again, it's just quirky, it's unique, it's something, maybe as an adult, they might be told, oh, you're very immature. For some people, I'm seeing it as the inner child. There was a break or something, right? Taking away from this harmony. And there was that stop. And so maybe they're kind of at that stage still. And that's how they act as an adult. And so there's a little bit of emotional rescue of the inner child. For others, I'm getting, this is how they started, and then this is what it turned into. It's like very strict and stern and not quite having as much fun as they used to. What do you want to teach me, King of Orbs? I'm just seeing outside people constantly always telling them, like, get back down here, get back down here. And when they listened and they came back down here, it's like, yeah, but all the creation, all the joy and love and harmony, like, we're supposed to bring this here to earth. That's the whole purpose of the starseed. And yeah, and when you're no longer connected to that, it might get a little intense. It might get serious. It's the Syrian starseed. You might get serious. And yeah, let's move on to the next ones. I see it's saying, like, don't be too serious for too long, right? Like, there is a little bit, always embrace that inner child. Don't leave that inner child behind, because that magicalness, that excitement, as it said, once that's kind of gone, they start to doubt or not believe in themselves, and it can lead to things like depression or something like that. And so, yeah. What's the next one? This is the energy that they're saying, like, we really want you to tap into. So we have the night wind. The night wind says facing fear, subconscious release, and healing. So whatever it was that made you think that you aren't seeing things right, that you're the what's that word? Distortion. Deluded. What's the word I'm trying to say? Disillusion. Anyways, it's like, no, this inner child does not have a grip on reality. Like, we need you to think like we do. And so that's what I see this inner child doing. And with that, no longer being able to tap into their source, to their higher frequency, and bring these manifestations to life. And with that, it shut down the heart. It made them kind of turn into this master of orbs. This is someone who's very intellectually in control. Emotions will not pull them, because I see them being so fancy before, so magical. And there is a need, as this said, subconscious release. We're going to bring a little bit back of that magical inner child, because the night wind is all about facing fear. And the fear was being seen as different, as the inner child being told, you're wrong, you don't know what you need. I'm just gonna let Cooper out. And so it's like, I almost see, especially when you're like a starseed, we're a little crooked, especially as like a starseed, you don't like being scrutinized, right? Like, you do your own thing, everyone else does their own thing, and just be. But I feel like the more and more attention that's kind of on them, especially being like a high vibration starseed, you already don't fit in with most people. And the more and more you get, like, I feel like this is like an empath or a sensitive person. And it's like, I just don't want those people's energy on me, because it it needs to be cleared, right? Ugh. Some people, especially these non-believers, and the more and more these non-believers don't believe in this indigo child, it's caused them to be very unemotional. And that's what I see, is like, yes, truth and justice and all these things are great, but this guy, I don't know, he's not happy. He's not enjoying his day. His face is just so hardened. And that's what happened to this heart. This heart hardened. It didn't get to be, it just didn't get to thrive. So facing fears, that's what we're doing. We're going in on this, and we're going to look at this indigo child. And it's like this child, I kept getting them, maybe they were curious. This was a curious little energy. And they would go and like always disrupt something, or, you know, they would see this thing, right? Maybe this was on the ground, and the next thing you know, it started rising, and then maybe they got into so many troubles or problems and things like that. And so it's going back within and finding that healing for that inner child. So whatever this inner child and this 7, it's saying, you knew what you wanted, you knew what you were doing, you knew it all. And so maybe time has passed. A lot of time has passed, I'm hearing. And so what about it? It's like a lot of time has passed, and I'm seeing this like indigo child kind of being like not enjoying their journey anymore. Now, okay, this isn't even, whatever, there. They're not enjoying their journey. It used to be fun and magical, and there was an adventure that waited them every single morning, right? I'm seeing like this diamond. It's like a diamond in the rough. There's this sparkle and this opportunity. I'm seeing like this kid now found a frog, and it's like, what is a frog? And then they learn all about it and those kind of things. And so now being very earthly bound, now the source kind of being taken away. And so this is their everyday. Isn't that kind of boring? There is a little bit of a glimpse of the past that kind of remembers. And other than this, like, that's a gray, dull day. So we're going to go back. We're going to get that inner child. We're going to heal them, and believe in all those fun, wacky adventures. So a little bit of the outside energy of this that's kind of influencing this is Gaia. It says wisdom, knowledge, spiritual understanding. What about this? Wisdom, knowledge, spiritual understanding. So here you are, right? You're cut off from your source. There's still that one, oh, I'm seeing that, remember? One star, one orb. Well, do you know which star that is? Well, I'll give you one guess, and I'm pretty sure it's not that hard to figure out. It's Sirius. Whenever you look up in the sky, you always see that one star that just seems to be shining a little bit brighter than everything else. And so, as this said, wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual understanding. So maybe you're in your 3D and life is boring, but you know you have this pull. I bet, I don't know, it's just saying like, maybe Sirius isn't quite your star origins for this star seed. So my question for you is, on a clear night sky, when you look up, there's always the same star that it always seems to be drawn to, right? Is it Orion's belt? Is it Sirius? Is it the Big Dipper? Is like, what part of the sky, when you observe it, I feel like no matter where you're going, like you could be driving and all of a sudden you just look at the sky and it's like, boom, right there. You go outside for something, boom, it's right there, right? It's always moving, but you are always drawn to it. I'm getting major Sirius vibes in this one, so we'll let that kind of come through still. But this knowledge and spiritual understanding, as this said, is that this mundane things is not how life is. So you're sitting there and you're observing it. Look how much like the colors in this background is kind of this. And so the more and more you observe things, the more and more, especially as you heal, this star is going to call you. If that's your home, if that's your family, and that's your frequency, no matter how far and how strict and how much you tell this inner child, like, no, we need to grow up. We need to stop chasing adventures, and we need to be serious down here. It's not going to fly, right? The more and more you keep trying to suppress it, the more and more you're going to be shown signs and synchronicities, because Gaia is the earth. So no matter where you are in your earth walk, maybe you have been cut from your source and you're doing your earth walk, there's still going to be signs and synchronicities that kind of pull you to these past memories. And these past memories are going to make you face your fear and do a little bit of subconscious release. Once you kind of follow that, it's almost like an aha moment. It's like, what is this? And then you kind of tap into this energy, and the next thing you know, it's like it reveals everything. It's like, oh, like this one to this one to this one to this one, to a higher understanding, which is healing. And so once you kind of heal, once you kind of integrate that inner child a little bit back in, that's when we have the Nine of Hearts unfold. So fulfillment, harmony, protection. Because what I'm getting with this dude right now is like, he's not in harmony. He's in protective mode. He's definitely got protective around. He's so tired of everyone telling him, you quit doing that, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just hearing that from this inner child to this is like, they've become, the inner child would have never thought that their journey would have went this way. And then when this one looks back at the inner child, it's like a little bit of sadness and regret that how things have unfolded. But everything is not permanent. Everything keeps rising. You cannot deny your heart, right? He's trying so hard not to have any emotions and things in this. And this inner child is all emotions, right? They're pure source, which is love. Love is the highest energy. So this child is just love. And he's going out and he's showing all these fun things that you can do. And remember that this child could tap into this and then reach for that high energy, take it, internalize it, through their emotions, process it, and then bring it into the 3D. So there is a need for emotions and the higher intellect. Let's say fear. If you still kind of have a little bit of this fear that people have kind of told you, you can't do that, there's a little bit of fear and doubt, there's still a healing process to do that. Why was I saying that? They're just saying balance, right? That inner child does need this protection and that kind of stuff from the negative energy, because this is such a sensitive soul. This soul, like, again, as I said, the more and more that you keep telling them that they're so distorted from reality, the more and more they shut themselves down, the more and more they try to unlight their sunshine. They don't want to sparkle. And there is a problem with dealing with like escapism. They could get into addictive type personality habits, depression, right? Because they're not being their true, authentic, emotional self. And so there is this balance between the two. You can have both of these within. In fact, you need it in order for a healthy relationship within yourself. Because this guy, he sees things, and I don't get that manifestations have been flowing as effortlessly, only because that inner child is a little wounded. So it's like, all right, we're going to bring you back. We're going to bring, right? That inner child brings the fulfillment. So how can we bring that excitement and things and not look at it as everything as it's just such a burden? So the last and final card of the outcome is harmony. It was in reverse. So was this burden. This burden with the 10 of flames was in reverse. So harmony, power, self-confidence, and productivity. I'm having deja vu. I'm pretty damn positive I did not use these two decks together in the reading. I used the serious ones in a different reading, but that's why did that come out again? I did have that. It was like a quick bloop, and then it left. But harmony, power, self-confidence, and productivity. What was my insight I just had? It came and went so quick. Whatever. Let's let it go. If it's meant to come through, it will come through again. If not, maybe it was just a message for me. I don't know. But you know what? I do want just one card to kind of clarify. Because what confuses me is that this Ten of Wands is stopping a burden. This is like a problem, things piling up on you, and you just kind of, or maybe you're avoiding it. Maybe there is something that you need to avoid, and you're just like, I'm not going to deal with it because, yeah, let's just pull one card. We got Three of Cups, which is all about partnerships. So what I'm getting from this, as this indigo child, this child was so smart and so talented and things like that. They could manifest things so easy. They had this unique way of viewing life, and unfortunately a lot of people couldn't think as high of a thought as they could, right? They're very high vibration. But the more and more that people started scrutinizing them and like criticizing them, they kind of shut it down. And so when they shut it down, they became this King of Swords energy. And this King of Swords doesn't use emotion. All he does is use intellect and mind, and that's it. He's a very calculated and unemotional person, but that is not who this inner child is. And so once they kind of bring these two together, that's what I'm seeing, right? Three of Cups is partnerships, bringing things together. While these two are on two different playing fields, there will be no harmony. There will be no fulfillment. Because this harmony is power and self-confidence. It's productivity. So this guy wants to be productive. He sees things. He's got the protection that this child did not have. And this child has the insights and the heart and the depth that this master does not have. So they're both masters in their own way. So when you incorporate them together and it becomes the Three of Cups, that's when that self-confidence comes back and the productivity, because you've really empowered yourself to have mind and heart connection, and with that is that heart fulfillment. And so once you kind of have that heart fulfillment, that's when the burden will stop, because I see like this inner child sees this and he's like, I can't deal with that, and he's like, sure, see ya. And then I see this guy look at this and it's like, I need to deal with this. And so that's all they focus on is like the negative, like, how do I stop this problem? There's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. And this inner child's like, well, why don't we think of a higher thought? Why don't we use this one instead? And then when the two come together, it's like, damn, I didn't even know that was an option. But that's because that higher thought, that inner child starseed type thought, is out of the normal. It's out of the box thinking. And the box, out of the box is like, I'm seeing Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. But what did I see that? I saw it as like you eat it and you're like, oh, that one's a surprise. Oh, that one, like, you know, and it's like, not knowing what you're having and then be like, oh, like pleasantly surprised. It's like a little bit of emotion or a surprise or something. So I see the two coming together. And once those come together, that's when the problem will be solved. You'll see the solution. You'll see the clear path. And then, yeah, because technically, Seven of Orbs would be getting chills now, so there's something to this. Oh, okay. Seven of Orbs would be Seven of Swords. And Seven of Swords in the tarot is somebody who's a sneak, a thief, something to be tricked or stolen. And so like here, they're like, hey, that was my hopes and my dreams. And he's kind of, maybe this was on the ground, and it's like stealing that thought or that belief. And so that's what I kind of see as that trickery, is like the inner child kind of being tricked or manipulated in some way. It's like the thing that was stolen was the inner innocence. And I feel when I kind of first got that vision, a little bit of sadness with it. It was like, ooh, that's where I got the chills, and I saw like that. But it's not lost. Again, it's in order to kind of come back and have this healing moment, because I see like there is lots of problems outside, and it's like rather than focusing on the problems only, there's a need to reverse engineer this. Whereas the indigo child would reach for the higher thought, and then once he had that higher thought, he would take it and internalize it and bring it forth. Well, now we're going to take whatever this is, internalize it, figure out the emotion, and then that emotion will bring us to a higher thought. And I think by reversing it is where that inner child's kind of waiting. The inner child's like up here, and it's like, I don't know how I got so disconnected from all of this. It's like up here waiting. So once you go to that higher thought, that inner child's waiting for you up there, and then from there you're like, oh, there is no problem. And you incorporate it all, and you're happy, and you fuse it all together. And then what was the final outcome? Harmony. Where's that harmony card? I lost it. Ta-da! Harmony. Power, self-confidence, productivity. Because now you got the mind and the heart. You've got your adult self, you've got your intuitive self, and you've got your inner child. A little bit of higher self is coming through. There's a part of you that has been untouched from all of this. Even though you might feel like the inner child and you as the adult has been split, there's a perfectly whole one where both are together, watching everything. And so because that's never been split, it will just fuse back together. That's that higher thought. The higher thought is almost higher self. So once you come in and bring yourself, your 3D self, with your inner child, and you go within the emotions of that child, figure out what it wants, it goes to that higher thought. So now there's the inner child, there's the you, and the higher self. And then with that, it changes all this trickery or the thievery or the lies and deception. It brings things into harmony and fulfillment. It heals that self-doubt. The thing that is the self-doubt is that distortion that, especially as an indigo child, you think and vibrate at such a high frequency. So trust yourself, trust your journey. And if your journey has gone a little bit farther and you don't feel that little bit of excitement from that inner child, that one is within. That one is the emotional part, the hopes and the joys and the dream. And by incorporating them, it's going to uplift you to a higher thought. And it's going to stop you from whatever this heavy burden is that you have to carry for so long. You're going to be able to let it go finally. And then just be happy. So we'll leave it there. I hope you have a wonderful day. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.